am Dominus Cinephile.
Welcome to my movie and TV series reviews, where I will provide honest opinions of the latest releases. If the movie or TV series is a hit or a miss, be sure to know I will inform you. But if the movie or series is trash, be also sure to know that I will trash the hell out of the movie. I am Dominus Cinephile.
Happy New Year and welcome to 2026 as we launch the year with our first review. Here's to a year that feels like a masterpiece, bold, award-winning, and drenched in the glitz, glamour, and excellence of true cinema. And the movie on the review table today is the Nollywood film, A Very Dirty Christmas. A Very Dirty Christmas is a 2025 Nollywood movie written by Juliet Iwoha and directed by Akai Mason, bringing together a formidable cast of Nollywood powerhouses: Iniedo, Femi Branch, Nancy Isime, Lateef Adedimeji, alongside music superstar Wajay Robi and screen legend Eucharia Anunobi. A Very Dirty Christmas follows the turbulent journey of three estranged sisters, Lulu, Lala, and Jade, reunited under alarming circumstances when their youngest sibling, Jade, vanishes after crossing paths with a powerful nightlife figure. Thrown into a frantic search, the two older sisters are pulled far beyond their comfort zones as time runs out and the festive season becomes a backdrop for deception, danger, and emotional reckoning. The Hands for Jade forces the sisters to confront long-standing wounds, unravel dark secrets, and navigate a chaotic trail of lies that turns Christmas into anything but joyful. The film premiered in Nigerian cinemas on December 16, 2025, opening with a reported 27 million naira in its first weekend. It allegedly followed that up with 76 million naira in its second weekend, before closing its run at a supposedly impressive 113.6 million naira at the Nigerian box office. Big numbers, loud headlines, the usual Nollywood flex. But as always, let's not be fooled. Numbers don't equal quality, and hype doesn't equal cinema. So let's get into it. We all remember the chaos that erupted before this movie even hit the screens. Social media was flooded with outrage as Iniedo went online practically begging that the film not be banned after certain religious groups claimed the title was an insult to Christianity and Christmas. Ironically and almost laughably, after all the noise, the outrage, and the manufactured controversy, the movie itself has little to absolutely nothing to do with Christmas or the Christian faith. The backlash was louder than the film's actual substance. Peak Nollywood theatrics. Now, let's be clear. I didn't step into the cinema because I was excited to see A Very Dirty Christmas. I was there to mentally brace myself for the torture of Funke Akindele's December 12th release, Behind the Scene, after an industry colleague insisted I see it, armed with Film One Entertainment's chest-thumping claims of a 2 billion naira box office run. I won't be reviewing Behind the Scene for obvious reasons. Its producers have developed a disturbing habit of reporting YouTube channels that refuse to sing praises. And anyone who follows Dominus Cinephile knows one thing. I don't bow to intimidation, and I don't worship fake numbers paraded as success. Then came the real insults. I walked into the cinema and discovered that movie tickets were selling for 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira. Let that sink in. In an industry still struggling with basic storytelling, inconsistent acting, and production shortcuts, audiences are now expected to pay luxury prices for bargain bin filmmaking. That's not confidence, that's audacity. That's daylight robbery dressed up as cinema experience. There was no way I was paying that. So I opted for A Very Dirty Christmas at a slightly reduced 9,000 naira. And even that felt like a scam the moment the credits rolled. I didn't just leave disappointed, I left insulted. I had just thrown hard-earned money at a film that sold itself as a Christmas story, but delivered none of the spirit, warmth, or meaning of the season. No soul, no heart, just marketing lies wrapped in festive aesthetics. And this is the real sickness eating away at Nollywood. Inflated ticket prices, exaggerated box office figures, and an industry more obsessed with headlines than craftsmanship. Audiences are being milked, critics are being silenced, and mediocrity is being celebrated as success. When bad movies are sold at premium prices and defended with fake numbers, that's not growth, that's decay. This is Dominus Cinephile. We don't clap for noise. We don't kneel to hype. We judge the work, and this work fails the price it demands. That said, A Very Dirty Christmas has absolutely nothing working in its favor. The storyline is painfully basic, offering no depth, no tension, and worst of all, no performance strong enough to carry the material. The film leans heavily on Iniedo's character, yet what we get throughout her screen time is a repetitive cycle of tears. She cries, then she cries again, and then she cries some more. It's excessive, overwrought, and completely unchecked. What should have been emotional quickly turns irritating as the performance crosses from dramatic into unintentionally comical. It's not moving, it's exhausting. If you've seen the Nollywood film Red Circle, then you've essentially already seen this movie. A Very Dirty Christmas is a near cover-to-cover replica, offering nothing new, nothing bold, and nothing creative. And here's the most baffling part. Both films were directed by Akai Mason. To make matters worse, Femi Branch appears in both movies, trapped in nearly identical storylines. Same structure, same beats, same ideas. At that point, it stops being inspiration and starts looking like outright creative laziness. How uncreative does a director have to be to recycle his own film almost frame for frame? The writer, Juliet Iwoha, also bears a significant share of the blame here. This is not coincidence. This is negligence. Nollywood can truly be astonishing in its lack of self-awareness. As the film unfolds, you repeatedly find yourself asking a very simple but damning question. What exactly am I watching? There is no meaningful character development. None. Every character exists only to move the plot from one tired scene to the next. The story relies heavily on dead tropes that Nollywood has beaten into the ground for years. One glaring example is Iniedo's character arc, the overly religious, long-suffering wife married to a cheating husband, played by Lateef Adedimeji. It's predictable, stale, and offers no fresh perspective whatsoever. Speaking of Lateef Adedimeji, his performance here is neither impressive nor memorable. It simply exists. He struggles through the role without any real conviction, emotional weight, or nuance. Frankly, I am yet to see a truly standout actor-worthy performance from him across his filmography, and this movie does nothing to change that perception. His character is flat, unconvincing, and at times painful to sit through. In the end, A Very Dirty Christmas feels like a film made on autopilot. lazy writing, recycled direction, exaggerated performances, and zero respect for the audience's intelligence. And this is the kind of movie Nollywood wants people to pay premium cinema prices for. Madness. Damn. From a cinematography standpoint, this film is shockingly poor. Visually, it offers nothing. No mood, no intentional framing, no cinematic identity. Continuity is practically non-existent. Scenes jump without logic, and narrative flow is so broken that you are constantly pulled out of the experience. Case in point, the group of thugs that suddenly appear towards the end of the film. Where did they come from? Who are they? Why should we care? The writer and director simply throw these characters into the story without any setup, background, or narrative grounding. It's lazy storytelling at its worst. Random plot devices dropped in just to force a climax. And remember, this is what audiences are expected to sit through after paying up to 10,000 naira. Absolute madness. The technical failures don't stop there. The lighting is flat and careless, often working against the visuals instead of enhancing them. The soundtrack adds no emotional weight, no tension, no atmosphere, only noise. Rather than elevating the viewing experience, both the lighting and sound design actively contribute to the film's collapse, turning already weak scenes into full-blown disasters. And then there's the biggest lie of all, the title. A Very Dirty Christmas has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas. Nothing. Strip away the name and there is no festive spirit, no seasonal relevance, no narrative connection to the holiday whatsoever. This is not a Christmas movie. It's a bait and switch. The title exists purely as a marketing trick, designed to lure unsuspecting audiences into the cinema under false pretenses. And what makes it worse is that this has become a disturbing pattern in Nollywood. First, inflated and unverifiable box office numbers. Now, misleading titles meant to deceive viewers. So let me be very clear. If this film is still showing in cinemas and you are considering watching it, understand this going in. You are being sold a lie. A Very Dirty Christmas is not a Christmas movie. It's a marketing scam wrapped in a misleading title, and the audience is once again the one paying the price. And now for my rating. A Very Dirty Christmas scores a disappointing, well-deserved 1 out of 10. I'm definitely trashing this. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for notifications. Also, be sure to follow me on TikTok, WhatsApp channel, and Instagram at Domino Cinephile for more movie and TV series reviews. Domino Cinephile, signing out.